Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel or simply not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps me out. We are officially in the holiday season. We're going to be diving into different Christmas spirits over the course of the next couple of weeks leading up to Christmas. Now, I do already have some on here, such as Krampus and La Befana and Mary Lude. So if this is definitely like right up your guys' alley, make sure to check those ones out. I always thought that it was really crazy how much fear was instilled into Christmas. And it's funny because Christmas is supposed to be about giving and joy and love and your loved ones. And even as far as Santa goes, it's very much well, you have to be good or Santa's not going to bring you presents, he's going to bring you coal. And I am guilty of saying that. But there's creatures that are far darker than any of that predate Santa Claus. Instead, today we're going to be diving into one of these terrifying Christmas spirits. So December 13th is a day that is celebrated across Norway and Sweden as a festival of light. There are parades of young women who wear candlelit wreaths on their head and dress in white. We'll talk about more of that later. However, there's a much darker spirit that was originally celebrated, or rather feared, on the 13th of December, and she was known as Lussi. And this night was known as Lussi's Night. Now, Lussi was a demonic woman. She traveled by broomstick. Today, in current day, the winter solstice is on December 21st, and that's also known as Yule. But centuries ago, the winter solstice, which is the shortest day of the year, in other words, the longest night of the year, would fall on December 13th. Now, this was the case for 500 years. And it wasn't moved until the 21st of December, until about 1700 AD. But even though the winter solstice had moved, this night still remained Lussi's night. This was a time where the veil between the worlds was thinner, and Lussi and her entourage of evil spirits would fly over the towns to make sure the year's work had been done. All of the farm work with livestock and the cleaning and the spinning of yarn. If it wasn't, well, you better hope that that wasn't the case, because there were extremely harsh consequences. She would snatch children from their beds, smash chimneys, and even go as far as killing those who were out of bed at night. Both adults and children would paint crosses on their doors just to ward her off. And the creatures that accompanied Lussi on her wild hunt were trolls or undead spirits. The wild hunt was called Oscarai, and it was this dreaded winter parade where Lussi and her entourage flew around looking for those to punish. During this time, people were afraid to even leave their homes, but there was somebody who had to stay awake to protect the farm. People would not only paint crosses, but they'd also hang axes and scissors over the doors of their homes just to keep her away. And children were extremely terrified of Lussi, because if they misbehaved, she might just snatch them away. They would write Lussi on doors and fences and walls, which I'm not really sure why they would write her name to ward her off. If anything, I would think that that might attract her, but they used to do it. And I'm sure in some places they still do. There would even be Lussi fires that were burned in many parts of northern Europe. Celebrate the sun changing course. But the day would turn from a night of fear to a celebration of light. In the 280s AD, Lucia or Lussi was born. she became a beautiful young woman whose mother unfortunately became terminally ill. So Lucy prayed to God for her mother to get better. And she did. When her mother was miraculously healthy again, Lucy saw this as a miracle. I mean, I feel like anybody would when they are told that their loved one has no chance of survival. And then they pray, and all of a sudden, their loved one's healthy again. How can you not see something in that? So she believed that God had granted her wish, and she decided to devote herself to God and God alone. She swore to live a life of chastity, and she used her dowry to bring food and supplies to the less fortunate people of Syracuse. She wanted her arms to stay free as she was traveling down dark hallways in Syracuse, so she would actually wear a wreath of candles, which had earned her the nickname the Luminous. No one is really certain what led to her death, but it's believed that there was a man who had taken an interest in Lucy. She had rejected him numerous times, and he was not very fond of that. Now, although this can't be proven, this is what is speculated. And this was a time where the belief in Christianity was punishable by death. It's really crazy how that flipped. I mean, now luckily in the US it's very much people are definitely more accepting of other religions, but I mean this wasn't in the US anyways. But it is funny how it first was Christianity and then it was paganism and stuff, they kind of switch. But anyways, the belief of Christianity punishable by death at this time. So he had told the city's governor about Lucy's faith, and the governor demanded that she would be executed at the stake unless she renounced her faith. Now, obviously, Lucy's like, no, I'm not going to do that. God saves my mom. So they tried to execute her by fire, and the fire wouldn't touch her. They tried several different times and several different methods before they unfortunately successfully succeeded, and they succeeded by a sword through her throat, which sounds horrible. Now, after she died, Lucy was canonized, and to this day, the martyrdom of Saint Lucia is commemorated on December 13th, which was the day of her execution. Interestingly enough, though, the Nordic observation of Saint Lucy was first in the Middle Ages and continued after the Protestant Reformation in the 1530s. Now, the modern celebration is only about 200 years, though. And during the Middle Ages, which happened after the death of Lucy, there was a horrible famine in the Swedish province of Varmland. Yeah, Varmland, not farmland. Varm with a V. Now, legend has it that a large white vessel that was carrying this large amount of food had appeared on Lake Vänern. At the helm of the ship, there was a young woman in white. Now, she wore a crown of radiant beams around her head, and as soon as the ship was unloaded, it vanished. So, is it possible that that could have been Lucy? The spirit of Lucy, the Saint Lucy, Saint Lucia, actually saving these people from starvation. Around the world, there are many different beings or goddesses that embody light or deliver the sun. For example, there's Apollo in Greek mythology who drives a sun chariot across the sky. Or Norse mythology tells of a goddess named Sol or Suna who drives the chariot of the sun nonstop in order to escape eternal darkness. Light has always been this beacon or this symbol against darkness. I just think it's so fascinating that this day that was so dreaded and feared amongst people became something of hope, something of love, something of light. And I mean, it's two completely different entities here, two completely different spirits we're talking about. But it's funny how the light replaced the darkness. I don't know what you guys think about both of these. I also think that it's so interesting how close their names are to each other, despite being several hundred years apart from each other. Make sure you like this video for me. Starting in the new year, I'm going to be going on a ton of different investigations, and liking this video, liking my videos, watching them, commenting lets me know that you guys want to see that, and I appreciate all of your guys' love and support. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, I love you guys. Bye.